Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs. Our writer is LoyXP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. And this week, the doors on the dungeon finally close with a resounding thud as the decked out competition concludes. A winner is crowned, another winner is crowned for a completely different reason, and whatever secrets remain will have to be left for the developer commentary track we will encourage Tango Tech to post ASAP.
You gotta lift his nose.
Shut up!
Oh, that's great.
Of course, the pick of shame still exists if anyone wants to use it to crowbar their way in for an unsanctioned, non-competitive, game-breaking fun run, or just to host a Ravager-themed birthday party. But they're running out of time to do that because with the end of Phase 9 of Decked Out comes the end of Phase 9 of Hermitcraft. Well, more or less, with a couple of server members posting final videos and retrospectives already, despite some of them falling outside the week we're covering in this recap, the writing's on the wall, or at least the subscription feed.
Season 9 of Hermitcraft is coming to an end very soon, and that means that there's going to be a 10th season.
Though the work on the bases and the builds seems to be winding down, the cast still has some things up their sleeves, like the Blue River Grand Prix boat race, and also Vault Hunters is still going on, although you think they would have caught that vault by now. But word on the street is we're getting a world download as a Christmas present, so I hope that's what you asked Santa for. And in the meantime, our present to you is taking a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Etho, who's still posting from the distant past.
I do realize this episode is a little bit on the late side. I do apologize for that.
Having been sick for most of Phase 8, he waited until he was recovered before post-commentating his attempts, which was entirely worth it, because despite having a severe case of the sniffles at the time, he was absolutely crushing it in the dungeon.
Do I get off the wall? Yeah, I do get off the wall. Good choice, Etho. Yeah, you don't want to be playing on the walls when there's wardens. That guy's just right there.
Opting to run on deadly difficulty for the sake of consistency, and having removed a couple of cards that caused hazard from his deck, he mostly aims to leave the dungeon with at least 40 embers, the better to buy victory tomes on every successful lap. It turns out everyone's gangster until Etho starts dual-wielding hoes.
God, I think he's gonna hoe me. He's got his hoe out. You can play this game. What the?
Even if his own actions confuse him a little in the post-commentary phase, we get to see what we already knew last week. Etho ends the penultimate phase of Decked Out, basically doubling the victory points of the other contenders for first place. It's a close race at the top, but by this point, Etho seems to have enough left in the tank.
I don't even know how. You, sir. Can we just talk?
The idea to stay deadly rather than frostburned comes to Hypnotized as well as he dashes through his final runs of the phase, parenthesis, part 1.
Throwing away runs just to learn how to do a certain floor doesn't make sense. So we're doing deadly only this phase. I know a lot of people wanted me to do Deep Frost, and I'd love to see that new content, but I feel like if I'm doing competitive Decked Out, I'm trying to score points.
There are a few novelties in his way, however, as Tango has once again adjusted a few passages, tweaked a few jumps, and added a rare event where a fake warden jump scares you while still in the entry minecart. There is, however, an even rare occasion Hypno encounters where instead of shrieking at you, the Yeti jump scare tells you they're Cleo.
Hi, I'm Cleo.
Okay. That's great. Hi, I'm Cleo. Oh boy.
Holding back never got anyone fuzzy slippers though, and so Cubfan135 dives deep in his own desperate bid for victory tomes, even when there are only 2 hours left before the phase is officially over.
That's what she said. Oh my god, jeez! Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, Scar. Thank you for that, bro. I'm trying to focus here, and then all of a sudden Michael Scott comes out of nowhere.
His dedication pays off only laterally. Turns out Corrales got the Fuzzy Slippers artifact all on his own.
We have a goal, and that goal is to get Corrales the Fuzzy Bunny Slippers. Amazingly, last night that goal happened without us doing a single thing.
But once the 2 hours are up and the score is settled, Tango Tech reveals that ultimately Cub will be coming home with the second place trophy. Not just for Phase 9 either, but for the whole entire game.
Tier player of all S tier players, a Cub affair.
Third place miraculously goes out to Good Times with Scar, who all of a sudden stormed into the leaderboard, submitting more points than sounds possible given how the same guy couldn't even use a compass back when we started. But the final winner of Decked Out ultimately is Etho. And also he won Decked Out 2.
The defending champion retains his title.
Let's go.
Tango makes sure to provide custom cards to the three, congratulating them on their time in the dungeon and highlighting the exact playstyles in the flavor text, as well as installing a display at Etho's overcomplicated base. Seriously, the guy made a giant roguelike in survival Minecraft, and even he's baffled by what's going on with the redstone here.
Of Ethos base here that he never got to. He had some big plans. Didn't really get to them. I totally understand, though.
But even this is not quite the end of the Decked Out 2 saga, because you see, there is a whole other winner we need to talk about. And it's not just we the audience this time.
By the way, the final level here, the Burning Dark, had many secrets in it. There may be something in there, and there may be something underneath here. It was incredible.
While Etho is crowned the winner of Decked Out, Pearlescent Moon had already been crowned its queen. We won't go into the specifics here because the video itself deserves watching, but suffice it to say the Burning Dark had many secrets to uncover and puzzle to solve, and Pearl was a match for all of them. Mapping out levels, observing mechanics, and dutifully hiding things that were not to be shown on camera until the deeds were done, Pearl unlocked the secret of the Dungeon Master's Den, returned to the surface to cash in a record-breaking 90 Ember run, and ultimately delivered a secret code word to Tango on top of the tallest tower of the Frost Citadel.
I am the Dungeon Master now. Eh?
At which point Tango basically said, "I know, I've been watching you the whole time," and handed over a crown.
You deserve to wear the hood today, not me. I am so proud of you, Pearl. You're amazing. You're amazing.
Pearl has officially mastered the dungeon, which by Chocolate Factory rules means she probably has to build it next time. Either that or Tango's going to have to add a Pearl mode lever.
Glow mode, hypno mode, and gem mode. I'm making all kinds of noise right now.
And seeing how Pearl is the new Dungeon Master now, it makes sense that Zombie Cleo uses her for their Dungeon Lackey run. Game recognized game, royalty recognized royalty.
But you know what? I wouldn't have had my other runs if you didn't give me the shards.
That's true.
In fact, these are apparently your leftover shards. Yeah,
That's embarrassing that that's the thing that's there.
While King Pearl coaching them through the fried pit part of the game is certainly the highlight of the video, Cleo actually includes their POV of a few other events we might have mentioned on the recap before. Such as their part of the third degree conversation with Vintage Beef, in which he has to only answer truthfully, so they certainly consider asking him his social security number.
What's the longest amount of time you've ever been awake and why?
Let's see, what's 24 plus 12?
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
In the 11th hour, Doc M is still adding decorative touches to the perimeter, adding another community-submitted mural that tells the story of the area flooding.
So it was a lot of going back and forth and back and forth. Definitely one of the more tedious ones. Man, they are doing amazing work. Thank you so much for that amazing piece.
Indeed, the natural world seems to be encroaching on many sides of the perimeter, with scars suddenly growing a forest right up against the corner where Doc's land blends into Adventureland. On the opposite side, the incredibly unnatural silhouette of Scabland Castle is taking shape, but between those, Doc builds a platform and a road leading from the landmarks of the perimeter pit up to his elevator. And flanking this platform, he builds more goat statues built from copper and sandstone. It's a good thing he didn't build them out of hay bales, because at this time of year they'd probably get burned down or eaten by birds. Naturally, this being Doc, he also can't help but add some tomato slimes piled up on top of the archway as decoration.
Little sit here with a little bit of a gap, then we can put one here. It's fun detail work.
In the meantime, Ijevin here dug up, if not a perimeter, then certainly a volume.
What is going on? I must get debris.
A man of his word, Jevin openly regrets ever saying that he would actually build a full netherite block beacon pyramid.
And I'll be honest with you, if I could give you advice on making this beacon, just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
But build it he does, becoming the first player to do so on the Hermitcraft server. For the grand triangling, Jevin gathers the Hermit family to cheer him on as the celebratory black fireworks shatter the sky.
Oh my goodness! Look at that! Oh, the black fireworks, nice touch.
So cool looking.
Oh my gosh, my ears!
And really, any project that lets you use the 597 days later splash screen deserves a good celebration. and a nap. Like, lots of naps, really.
So next season you're gonna do a double beacon.
Doc, I'm expecting you to do a double beacon.
One, Doc.
Jevin, you are the machine.
I've been working on it for so long. Although it's complete and in front of my face and I can see it, it doesn't feel like it's done.
On a personal note, speaking as someone who's also done this to themselves in the past, I fully endorse Jevin's advice that you should not try this at home. Here's something else you shouldn't do, courtesy of Rendog, who continues his work on the most intentionally ugly thing he can imagine.
I have not forgotten about the project, guys. In fact, I have spent the last 5 or 6 days solid working on this project.
Scabland Castle even includes some crimes against building he committed unintentionally, but he's a victim of his own conviction and decides to keep them there. At least he gets the satisfying moment of watching the concrete convert, and in an excellent display of logic, he decides he'd better light up the whole thing to prevent it from being a mob farm, because it's a parody of Scarland, which is a mob farm.
Which I guess is kind of ironic, because if anything, this place should be covered in creepers and mobs, but yeah, we are trying to stick true to our mantra.
Scabland's final transgression is a much more common one. With the season ending soon, it will remain unfinished, which we think is perfectly fitting given its mission statement. But Rendog himself has the mission of hosting an incredible Grand Prix event on the Blue River Raceway, which now has a catch-up mechanic, allowing racers the opportunity to rubber band their way to victory by holding onto an elytra and collecting fireworks dispensed by the other contestants passing through checkpoints in front of them, then breaking their boats and bullet billing their way towards pole position.
Of course, there is some skill involved in getting out your boat, breaking it as fast as possible, and you have to pick the boat up after.
And finally, Azumavoid takes Ren for a ride, hoping to squeeze out the secrets of ultimate velocity out of the only man who has a lower time than him on the iceboat racetrack. The secret may be just that he built the thing and as such spent a lot of time testing it.
Yeah, I decided you should probably come to a full stop and then... Oh, wow, that was much better.
What you want to do is you want to aim to hit this pillar here at speed and bounce back into the lane. Did you see that?
Okay. I get ya.
Yeah. It's hard though.
Well, joke's on him, Azuma's got to go faster because he brought his own music. No, for real, that's his original track he used as the background tunes. But also X is taking us all the way to the finish line in more ways than one, because it's his video this week that officially announces the end of the current Hermitcraft season.
No, you will not kill me! I'm doing the off!
As Azuma takes his time to go through all the builds and projects he personally took on over these past 2 years, he confirms that Season 9 will be ending soon and that Season 10 is inevitable. Perhaps his endgame was always to take us to Hermitcraft X. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.